free, and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline. Very,
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Today's episode is a very special one, as I finally hit a milestone, and hitting milestones are always really, there's something special about what it does for humans, both psychologically and physically, from energy levels to boosting confidence. And so I get to share my milestones on the show with this platform, which I am very, very grateful for. And I've gone 100 days sober. I've gone 100 days without alcohol, finally hit that sucker. It takes a few days here and there to get to triple digits, it turns out, but that's all right. And this morning, I just wanted to kind of talk about a few of the benefits. A few of the benefits that I'm receiving from being sober, maybe a few of the cons, because there's nothing that's all benefit, right? There's some cons to certain things. You could even argue that meditation has a few cons, whether you're thinking like what would be an example of a con for meditation? This one might be a little tougher, but I could say, if you are focused too much internally, I think it can take away from your ability to like perceive other people's situations when you're focused too much on your own situation. And so I think that could be a potential con. I think there's cons for everything. I think there's pros for everything. But I will acknowledge right off the bat that this has been a worthwhile experience. I got to say that in the first couple minutes, because viewership after the first couple minutes usually tanks for the show, unfortunately. But either way, if you're sticking around this morning, you're checking us out this morning, just understanding that it does help. And going 100 days sober without alcohol, I think it was a little harder for me. I don't know. Some people can quit it, never do it again. There's actually people who I didn't see them before, but there's actually numbers of people who go to parties all the time and they just don't drink that much, or they don't really drink at all. And I think it is growing in popularity to give up alcohol, which I think is encouraging, because the science and a lot of stuff that backs up human health, human performance, human memory, human focus, all of these great things that make us skilled and good at our professions, they're coming out that alcohol is working against them in a lot of ways. Like, I think it's a bunch of shit that if you drink a glass of wine a day, you'll feel better and you'll be healthier. I don't believe that at all. I don't think alcohol is good for you really in any dosages, but I don't think it's that bad either in small dosages. So before I kind of go on a bunch of these raves and benefits, like, what is healthy consumption? What is healthy consumption? And to give the lawyer answer, it probably depends, right? I think less is more in a lot of ways. I think going without is probably smart, especially when your number one goal, and this is the biggest point of this, when your number one goal benefits or increases in probability when you give something up. Yesterday, kind of just throw up this banner yesterday. What am I willing to give up in order to get what I want? That we were talking about that yesterday, and that was leading into this today. I really do believe that if you can give something up, it's going to dramatically increase the time, attention, and focus and quality that you're going to give to your number one goal. So what would be an example of this? Me giving up alcohol, I have gotten so much content done for my bit. I'm creating this big, massive course. It's going to be incredible. It's going to change thousands and thousands of lives, hopefully millions over the decades. And I really believe this course is just absolutely exceptional. And I'm trying to make it as good as humanly possible, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making it a big beast. And I genuinely think because I wasn't getting fucked up on the weekends and I was just sitting there reading a ton and hanging out with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's done a lot of the classes. I've had other family members, friends do the classes. I've had dozens of clients do the classes now, and I'm just reading through all the feedback. I'm getting feedback constantly. And I really believe that extra window and that extra time and that extra focus and energy have dramatically helped me get closer to my number one goal. Very, very much so. So I would ask you, what is your number one goal? If your number one goal is to lose weight, if your number one goal is to get fit and to get active, which is the most common, health goals are usually the most common, and I think the most difficult. If you don't have your health, like you just don't have shit. It's just fact. Or that's okay. I guess that's my perception. I guess I'll slow down a little bit this morning. I'm all riled up because I hit one of my milestones and I'm excited. But I genuinely believe if you don't have your health, or you're not at a healthy weight, or you're not at a healthy image of how, like the number on the scale, it varies so much in like how tall you are and how like long your limbs are and all these other factors that like if you can look in the mirror and you feel better, like you're gaining progress towards who you want, how you want to look and how you want to feel. If you can go off those parameters, I think that's really good. And then you just get so much energy that it really allows you to do the other things. So that is one thing, I guess that would be one of the pros that I would talk about from giving up alcohol specifically is I just have a lot more energy. It's factual. I have more energy. I genuinely do. I have a lot more time. It's hard to, it's pretty wild to think how much time alcohol really takes out of our lives. So for example, I go out, say it's Friday, and I go out and I have some drinks. And then the next morning I'm feeling hungover and I sleep in, and then I'm not feeling great. And then by the time I need to go do something, I go do it around, say, lunchtime, or I go meet up with friends and I do something. And then I go out and I have some fun. And then I stay up really late Saturday night. Say I'm watching the fights, I'm going out to bars, I'm hanging out with my friends. And then Sunday night, I'm even more hungover because now it's 2 days in a row. And then I'm sleeping in even further. Those specifically why I'm really never going to drink in excess ever again, because unless it's like some special event or some special vacation, my girlfriend and I are going to this concert called Bonnaroo, and I'm going to drink more than once there. So, but it's got to be something very special to me now. And that's what I'm excited about, because I didn't realize how valuable my weekend mornings were, or how valuable my mornings are in general. I think a lot of times we're fighting upstream because we're tired and we have a headache. And I think alcohol really jacks up our sleep and our ability to be driven and our ability to have a lot of purpose and our ability to focus on a number one goal. Our ability to, if you want to learn the skill of a billionaire, it's saying no to things that are not in alignment with your number one goal. Again, this is off of something that I was reading from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Their superpowers that they know how to say no to literally everything that is not exactly what they want. Do I want to be a super finance guy and live that type of life? No, I don't. But that doesn't mean I can't learn from them. And I can't learn that shit clearly works. That if I just say no to pretty much most things that are not in alignment with what I truly want, then I'm probably going to get what I want. If you don't know what you want, when I sit down, and this is one, if you don't know the answer to this, it's fine, because your answer is going to change regardless. But just coming to peace with something close to something today would be really beneficial and really helpful. I would argue, what is it that you want? What is your number one goal? What do you want? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to get rid of? What are you trying to make space for? I set out a goal. I'm going to give up alcohol for 100 days because I want to see how it feels. I want to help inspire other people to give things up, to focus more on their health. This wasn't so much a demonization of alcohol in any regards. I mean, 100 days, the one video I was talking about in the beginning when I said I was going to quit, this dude did like 1,000 days. And like, there's people who haven't drank in 10 years, you know, don't get too worried about the comparisons of like, oh, they do this forever. Oh, they do this for a time frame. Maybe your timeline is a week. Maybe your timeline is like 7 days a week with the same thing, right? Maybe your timeline is 1 month. Maybe your timeline is 6 weeks. Whatever your timeline is, remember, it is for you, for your benefit. If you feel tired, not drinking booze will help you feel more energy. I promise. If you're having a hard time focusing, you feel like you're having a hard time focusing on very particular things, you get distracted very easily, quitting alcohol for 100 days, I promise, will help you focus. If you just want more confidence, if you want control over your emotions, this is the last thing that we'll probably talk about today. If you want more control over your emotions, and we are emotional creatures, human beings, whether you want to admit it or not, you will feel more consistent more often when you go to bed at the same time, you get up at the same time, and you do not drink alcohol. This has probably been the biggest surprise to me, is the control of my emotions. If you are an emotional person, I would say don't drink alcohol very often. And if you do, don't have it more than a couple drinks. I think it really starts to become more of an excuse than like an aid, alcohol, for us after a certain number of drinks. I don't think we need, or I can't speak for other people, I just don't need to get wasted anymore in that regard, in that sense, because I understand how damaging it is to everything else that I care about. And like, for what? Alcohol just gives me an excuse to feel in the present moment. I know we can argue back and forth with that. I'd love to chat with anybody who wants to talk with me about that. But I do believe genuinely that alcohol is just an excuse to give you a numb feeling to only focus on what's in front of you in the present moment, whether you're interacting with friends, whether you're at a ball game or whatever. Like, it's a buzz and a stimulation to gain your attention, to make you feel in the present moment, which you already have access to. It's just you got to build that muscle up over time to be at peace with the feeling and the sensation of being sober. It's wild how everyone who is addicted to things, all they really want at the end of the day is the feeling of what sober people have. And that's like presence, a simple coating over the body that you feel happy, you feel healthy, and you feel joy. And of course, that's the life coach answer, but I've found it to be true. I can only speak from personal experience, folks. And that's why I come on here today and talk a little bit more about being 100 days sober. It's just for that, the control of emotions. And let's go ahead and go with a little story. So what would be an argument about, oh, Tanner, I'm trying to get better at handling objections, and I like trying to put in a system to combat them. So this is how I am combating your rejection of, I'm not quitting alcohol for 100 days, because that'd be my ass. Try it for 100 days. Try it for yourself. See if it helps. It's really helped me. So I'm going to a wedding. And people start flowing onto the dance floor. And my girlfriend likes to dance. And I haven't drank any alcohol. I'm still in the midst of the 100 days. I'm feeling like in the past, I like to dance all the time, but I had to get drunk to do it. And I would feel embarrassed, or I'm not some amazing dancer by any means. Please do not think that. But I am willing to get out there. You know, if your girlfriend's dancing, if you're a man, you gotta buck up, champ. You gotta get out on the floor. But I knew this, but in the past, I always had to have alcohol to feel like I could have a good time, or I could let loose, or I could have an excuse to be silly. I feel like I'm such a serious person, or that was the old me, and this is who I've evolved into, and I'm really excited about, is I used to believe that to not be serious, to be silly and all that, I would have to have the excuse of being drunk. I had a lot of friends in college and friends just in general who were really nice to me, and we had a good time. I'm a happy drunk. I'm not like that, but I always had to have this excuse of being fucked up in order for me to get put myself out there to be silly and to have fun and give myself permission to have a good time. So we're at the wedding, and now I'm telling myself, okay, I haven't had any booze. I'm pretty sober. People are out there boogieing and having a good time. I'm going to go have a good time. I'm going to just focus on how my body moves. So I go out there and I start dancing. I'm like feeling my body moving. And then I have this like epiphany. Holy shit. Nobody cares if I'm drunk or not. Wow. Holy cow. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. You think the kids cared? You think the parents cared? You think the bride cared? You think anybody actually cares? No. But we run these stories and it's called catastrophizing, where it's like, oh, but if I don't do this, then I won't have a good time. So being very careful of the stories that we tell ourselves, like, oh, I can't go out there and embarrass myself. I'm a better dancer sober than drunk anyway. So it's like to think that I'd go out there and be better doesn't make any sense. That argument falls through. It's just getting over the fear and insecurity that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, all of that. So I need to do a whole episode on, it's called shame, but it's where you have feelings about certain things when you don't think you're good enough, but you really are. You are good enough. Nobody cares. They want to see you have fun. Like, it provide good energy to the party, right? So I go out there, we're dancing, we're having a good time. And then after a little while, I start to realize that this is still really fun. I can have a good time without getting drunk. I can stand my ground on what I said I was going to do, go 100 days without alcohol. I can commit to things that I want to compete. So twist this in your own situation. Think of ways I can compete. I can get things done that I set out to do. When I have intentions and I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So maybe today is an inspiring day for you to pick something that you want to give up for a while. Pick something that you want to work on. Pick something that you want to commit your time, effort, and energy to, that you think would truly be worthwhile. What in the hell if I give up booze, or I give up pot, or I quit nicotine? Will yes or no? Yeah, screw no. Yes or yes. Is this going to help me get closer to my number one goal? That was my parameter. That was my thinking. I'm here to help you have better health, to increase your wealth, and to improve your relationships. I'm going to keep doing this for decades and decades. And my goal is to inspire and help improve those three categories in your life. And if I can do that, then that's a success. So think of things that you can give up to focus on things and set yourself really up for success. Maybe you have to give up parties. Maybe you have to give up pot. Maybe you have to give up so-and-so in order to reach that number one goal. You want to gain 10 pounds of muscle. You want to sell $100,000 worth of coaching packages. whatever it is that you want to do, be realistic with yourself and set yourself up for success. If I give this up, I'm going to do this. And we've talked about this a little while ago, but abstinence, I believe, going completely without is always easier than moderation. And we have to have abstinence and giving something up so we can really develop a true relationship with alcohol. The example for me would be alcohol. Now that I've given up alcohol for a period of time, I've proven to myself I don't need it to have a good time. And I've proven to myself that I don't even want it in big quantities. And I've proven to myself what I want is to have it be a very special moment with special people and in special settings, and like one or two at most. So I had to give it up to create moderation and stop setting yourself up for failure. If you got plowed last weekend, don't think that you can go out with your buddies and be like, oh, I'll just keep it easy, it'll be fine. Like, what's the risk? Like, what are you actually getting out of those experiences? Would you get more out of other experiences? Would you get more out of chasing particular goals? Would you get more out of figuring out who you are and what it is that you want to do? If you need help with these types of topics, ideas, and strategies on your personal and professional journey, you talk to Tanner. You talk to me. I would love for you to reach out to me. I'm taking on more coaching clients. I'm taking on more clients who are going through my through my 6-week course that has a ton of additional materials. We are cranking out the value over here. So if you're looking to push yourself completely to the next limit, if you want to feel more happy with who you are, what it is you do, where you're heading, and create a map for your life, then talk to Tanner. And I would love to set up an initial coaching session completely free to kind of show you what our program's all about. That's all I have for today. This was 100 days sober without alcohol and some things that I'm learning. Emotional balance, better energy. Man, just giving myself permission to have a good time. Just me being me. And that's good enough. Cheers, friends. You guys have an incredible Tuesday. I got to hop off here. Tuesday's my busier day. I got a bunch of sessions. We're going to help some people. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep getting better. And I hope you do the same. If you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to me on any of these social media platforms. I love you all so much. And in case you needed to hear it, yes, I love you, and have a great day. And I'll talk to you again live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. live with another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we take ourselves to the next level. Cheers. I'm out of here, friends. 100 days sober. Cheers to that. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Go kick some ass.